Hello there everyone, this is Urbanmech and welcome back to the giant stompy robot simulator. By which I mean Mechwarrior Online. Yes, after today's little walk we have one of our trash cans coming out of the shed. One of our little urban mechs. And, well, it's got fairly heavy weaponry, I must admit. I also haven't prioritised the missile launchers on this variant, which is, I think, a bit on the rarer side, considering normally, this is the only Urby with rockets. Sorry, not with rockets, with missiles, so it should carry missile weaponry. MRMs are especially good, but this time I've actually focused on the energy aspect of it. I am misspeaking. Energy thing, yes. Sorry. Right. For this walk we have the UM-R68L variant, also known as that missile spamming trash can, I guess you could say. Except I don't know if people say that. I don't keep in track that much. I just do what I want, mess around with how I want, that kind of thing. So, without further re-ambling and further descent into madness, let's go ahead and have a look in the Mech Bay and see what we've got on here. So, Mechwarrior. This particular Urby is built on an end of steel structure with ferrofibrous armor, so maximum weight saving. It only fits standard heat sinks, but that's fine. That's about all it can handle as well, so there we go. It is also powered by a XL145 rated engine because it's a couple of tons lighter than the 150. Honestly, that's why. Which gives it a full speed of 78.3, so it is fairly nippy. About medium mech territory in terms of speed. So definitely slow for a light, but it can get around okay. No jump jets though. I still don't really tend to use jump jets. Now onto the weapon systems. We actually have 3 here, 2 backup systems and 1 primary. Primary weapons are in the left arm and it is a pair of snub nose PPCs. So no minimum range, I can get as close as I like. It just suffers a bit in terms of the maximum range possible, and optimum is really shoddy as well, at least for a PPC. So nice hard-hitting armor-breaching weapon just in there. This is backed up in the unlimited ammo department at least by an ER small laser in the left torso. So that's kind of there as an afterthought, and because I had a spare half ton, so it's like, let's slap in a little bit of extra ranged firepower just because reasons. And then lastly, backing up all of this in case we come up with something a bit too tough to handle, we've got a pair of rocket launcher 10s mounted in that all-important right arm. So this is what I meant when I said it's not really focused on the missile weaponry. It's just 2 rocket launcher 10s. Once they're gone, they're gone. But it should be alright. Though I should mention also that the rocket launchers, they mess up rather badly with the heat management scaling. So despite the fact it's got a total of 7 additional heat sinks, this mech only scores 0.81 on the heat management scale. Once the rocket launchers are taken out of the equation though, let's just do that quickly, it bumps up to 1.15, which is actually not too bad. I do have to watch the heat when firing the PPCs too much, but I'm planning to have those in chain fire rather than burst fire to help manage this a bit more. It also gives me more shots for when I miss, because, let's face it, it's me. I'm going to miss. If I take the small laser out of the equation as well, then it raises to an acceptable level of 1.24. So the backup weapon for closer ranges will cause more heat if that comes into play. But relying just on the PPCs themselves, this mech is actually not too bad. Yes, continue. I don't want to see those changes. So yeah, that is my little urban mech for today's little dance. It's more of a skirmisher slash, well, I feel like saying fire support is redundant at this point, kinda, because almost all of the designs I put together in Mechwarrior Online are kind of geared towards fire support and supporting other people. It's not often that I actually have raw power in terms of my own equipment. Not really. In this case, I do have a fair punch, especially against larger targets, but I'm a light mech. My armor is not great, and I can't actually engage other lights very effectively because of the focus on heavier weaponry. So, well, I do play support so much in this game. That's why I think it's redundant. I don't know. Anyway, roll on match number 1. Here we go.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Fleet command coming in. Capture the target area and engage any hostiles.
Okay, here we go. Just one moment. There we go. Weapon set to chain fire mode. Right. Welcome. Welcome, ladies and gents, to the Mining Collective. Well, we've got a shadow cat who's not moving. Welcome to the Mining Collective, where the game mode is Domination. I can't feel proud of myself for that one because I was actually paying attention when we reached the voting screen, so I know it's Domination. Oh well, it's one way to learn it, I suppose, isn't it? Ooh, a smoke jaguar. Okay. But yeah, what we have is Domination. We've got fights. We've got people moving up already. Pretty high speed. Ooh, I've caught it with one of the assaults. What's an assault doing in this line? I don't know.
Target acquired.
But yeah, I've got everything set up as I want it, so I'm going to be firing one at a time on my PPCs, one at a time on my rockets.
New target acquired.
Yes, I saw you there. Didn't hit anything, but hey. Also don't want to be on this line because, again, very easy target. Though, admittedly, the much larger mechs I'm cowering behind are kind of there as well. Ooh, tagged him. Got a spider roaming around up there. I can't pursue him, but I'm not going to anyway because, as I mentioned, I'm not geared towards dealing with lighter targets. So really, I just want to stay out of things until the lines start to move and the actual closer combat starts to begin.
Target acquired.
Need assistance.
Could probably do with an LRM launcher, to be honest. That might have been a good idea. Oh, there's something
New
coming.
target acquired.
Enemy assault coming in on the flank. Ooh, that's could get messy, actually. Especially since our dire wolf seems to be eating considerable amounts of firepower. You know, let's go up here and do some poking. Excuse me. My throat is in such a bad way at the moment. Let's switch to heat tracking. Let me see it. Oh, hello. Sneaky, sneaky, run away. Don't want to actually let myself get bogged down and engage. But heat tracking is kind of important considering... Oh, here comes the Warhawk.
Acquired.
Sorry.
Oops. Nope, that wasn't a good shot at all. But yeah, I think my focus has to be with these guys. Support the Mad Cat 2, support the... oh, I've forgotten what that mech's called. Support the thingies!
New target acquired.
Okay, good.
The enemy has destroyed Alpha.
Oh, it's a Shadowhawk. That's it.
Target acquired.
But that guy's also being a bit of an issue. Looks like that was a 2-mech push though, and it's got kind of cut off a little bit. Come on, emerge. Ow. Oh, it's you.
Target destroyed. Heat level critical.
And yeah, there goes the... Oh, jeez.
Target
I was not
acquired.
expecting that. While I wasn't paying attention, the midline apparently collapsed. Oh dear. That is not such a good thing to be seeing at all. I also don't want to be exposed here, so that's why.
New target acquired.
Ooh, if only I had my... Oh, never mind. Remember, light mech against the hunchback, not a good idea. Still, I was actually eating a lot of impacts towards the end there, but then he called me out with a concentrated laser burst, I think. Not too bad. Okay. Sorry. My throat is absolutely killing me. This is, yeah. Our centre line collapsed, so they pushed through, and they've got a massive kill advantage right now. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to win this one at all. We're 4 mechs behind them, I think. Yeah. We're going to get the final damage screen in just a moment, most likely. There's only one of ours left, and I think it's the Shadowhawk.
Artillery strike online.
No, it's a catapult. The Shadowhawk's already down. Yeah, this catapult, I think you can do it. You're going to win. You're going to win in this situation. No, you're not. Yeah. It'd be an impressive catapult to survive that. I must admit. Ah, well.
Back it up. The hostiles are taking control of the target.
I do apologise for the coughing. Right. How do we do? 2 assists, 115 damage. Bit on the low side. That's okay. 1 team damage. I'm not sure where that came from. I think I glanced someone with a laser or something. But, yeah. Not too bad, I suppose. Though things did fall apart really quickly. Once the, I think the direwolf was acting as the anchor, and it got taken out, and then the enemy just surged through. So I think that's probably what happened to us. Anyway, roll on, match number 2. Here we go.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Fleet command coming in. Capture the target area and engage any hostiles.
Okay, here we go. Welcome to match number 2. Oh, actually, I'll head out this way as well. The game mode is still domination. Yep. So there we go. And welcome to Grim Plexus. It's just, yeah, the other one was Tourmaline Desert. Yeah, this one's Grim Plexus. I'm still. Anyway, yeah, welcome. This is going to be match number 2 out of 2 because despite the crippling loss last time, it was still a decent match overall. Admittedly, I could have been doing more, I guess, but I was trying to find targets and things. This one has a lot more open sightlines because a weaponry like this is not really geared towards closer combats, like shorter sightlines, poking around corners, that kind of thing. Not really tooled up that way. So actually on the Mining Collective we were at a slight disadvantage in terms of our primary weaponry. This map should be better suited, so we should be able to get more damage out of it. At least I can get more damage out of it. I'm sure many people would have done better with this mech in the previous match as well, but I have to put up with what I can do, so there we go. Yeah, anyway, match number 2 of 2. That means it's time to think about the build and what it's like, and honestly, the double snub nose does feel like it works quite nicely. So it's definitely got that poke kind of mentality. When you step out, then you can actually start doing some damage. It stacks up fairly quickly against bigger targets, and you've got some range with it as well, which is nice.
Target spotted.
What I would think though is maybe swap out the rocket launchers, which, well, I tried to use them, but I don't tend to like one-shot weapons that much, I must admit. One-shot weapon is not really my thing.
Foxtrot on the left, Vault 7.
We've got someone calling things out. Okay, I'll move around that way. Gotta remember, I can poke around the left side with my PPCs. Ooh, that Banshee was in a bit of retreat there. Let's see what we can do.
New target acquired.
Just try and get a line on a target, at least.
Target spotted.
That bushwhacker's too hidden.
Target spotted.
Oh, well, a lot of people responded to that rallying cry. So yeah, I think a double snub PPC is workable as a weapon platform in this case. Though something else that could be added is maybe more heat sinks would probably be a good idea as well, because we do suffer from some overheating. Oops. So yeah, what I'm thinking is swap out the rocket launchers and the laser for maybe an LOM-5 with a half ton of ammo and some extra heat sinks if possible, just to help cool things a bit. Oh, hello. Yeah, I'm not a match for that. Let's turn around. Ow! No! My totally valuable and awesome arm with the rocket launchers that I've already used. Oh dear. We might have a bit of a problem. We've got the entire enemy force over here. Oh dear. Let's go this way. Get some cover, because I don't want to be prioritised by that lot. No thank you.
New target acquired.
Ooh, that Warhawk is...
Level critical. Right
Yep.
cursor critical damage.
Oh, darn it. Ow. Exactly the wrong place to shut down there. Less damage, but I was pumping shots into the heavier mechs, though. Unfortunately, we got rolled up in that one, too. We were gathering, but I suspected this as soon as I saw that there was an entire enemy force moving up under ECM coverage around that gully. Because it's like, how is such a concentration of enemy firepower coming our way? So I figured right then and there that we were going to lose it. At least we took the Annihilator down. That's the thing. But yeah, less performance than last time. But that's okay. I've never been afraid to post games where I lose on the channel, so that's absolutely fine. I mean, if you think you're going to a game and you win all the time, then that's not exactly how it goes. Ooh, I did got assists on both of the guys that killed, though, so I did do something. Yeah, only 58k. Team damage -1 again. I think I glanced someone again with the laser. Protected light times 8. Protection proximity. So I was sticking close to my team there and helping out a lot. So yeah, not the best showing from this build, I must admit. I still think, yeah, what I was saying before, swap out the laser and the rockets. They can be useful, but end of the day, maybe focusing this mech purely around its primary weapon system, which is the snubs, would work better. Though the lack of backup weaponry means that if you lose the arm, you lose your offense, and you can't do anything at that point. But that's one of the problems with an Urbi. Most of its weapon points are just flat out in the arms, unfortunately. But I also mentioned like LRM, an LRM-5 might be a good idea as well. Let's see, let's actually poke at this a little bit and see what we can do. Take out the rockets, which frees up a ton. Take out the ER small, which frees up another half ton. That's not even enough for an LM5. The heat management's okay, but we were overheating just from the snub, so an LM5 would be a nice addition, but it's just a pipe dream, unfortunately. Not without downgrading something else to make room for it, because the LMs, of course, I need at least 2.5 tons to fit that. I've got 1.5 tons. And the engine is only 2.5 tons in itself as well, so even that can't be downgraded. Yeah, I'd have to downgrade it to like an XL120, which is 4. I could do that. I've got the heatsink capacity for it, but my speed drops to assault mech territory, which is not great, especially for something like this. So, yeah, I think the extra stuff should be fitted into more heatsinks above all else, because with more heat comes more firepower, and since we've got the half ton, maintain that small laser as well. So scrap the rockets for an extra heatsink, which actually gives us a 1.3, which is actually quite nice. We can sustain the snubs fairly well on a 1.3. And then when we start using the small laser, it drops to 1.2, which is still very manageable territory. So I think that would be a good idea. I should also mention this mech I don't think has anything in the skill tree, so we can tweak that further. Let's have a look. No, no skills here, so we can boost the output even further if this mech pursues that path. Though this mech does need the skill trees in it as well. But honestly, any mech I put together, my priority is always help it run a bit cooler, because I don't like having to focus on the heat management too much. That's why I tend to build more stable builds, honestly. But yeah, I think that's a good alternative, just swap the rockets for the heatsink. Anyway, this has been UM-R68. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, even if it was just 2 losses. But if we specialise this to the snubs, I think we've got a decent fire support mech here against enemy heavies and assaults. Though you want to stick close to your own heavies and assaults as well, because any light or medium skirmishing going on, you're going to take a lot of damage really, really quickly. So it's probably better to avoid that, in all honesty, with this build. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all some other time. See you all later.